It is still a very active scene out here. Homicide detectives are still on the scene. You see them right behind me. They got the call around 2:50 this morning about two men being shot inside a car in a parking lot. Well, you can see there is still police tape all over this parking lot. As we go over to my left, zoom in a little bit, that is where we saw at least 17 evidence markers when we first got out here this morning. Those typically represent shell casings. And as we come back directly behind us, we're going to zoom in and you see a black car. That is where that car ended up. Everything is quiet right now. Really, everything came to a stop right around 2 o'clock this morning, but we do know at least 5 people will be waking up in jail after they were arrested overnight, and there are 4 police officers from this area who might be pretty sore later today after being hit by rocks by protesters. If you're thinking, hey, this is an interesting sight to see, this is on purpose. Right now, what you are seeing is what I typically see during my live shots, the KMOV camera and photojournalist Nick Zervos waving right there. But I did just confirm this is a sight that you will not see if you go to those town hall meetings tonight. And I spent hours yesterday working and also talking with people in Clayton and Jeff City to get these answers. And the early estimates of that $4.2 million is just for the county. So far, we've not heard how much this is going to cost the state. And it says this way to the arch, but here's our big question. When will the entire arch project be done? We have new information for you, and it's coming up next on News 4 this morning. Police tell me that 2 men were shot inside a car on this parking lot, a car that then crashed into this sports bar and grill, sending both of those men to the hospital in critical condition. News 4 was the only media outlet who had people on the ground all throughout the night tracking every development, and there is some good news. Everything is calm right now, and in fact, just in the last 20 minutes, the protesters who had been here throughout the night left, but it was a much different scene just a couple hours ago. A Ferguson sergeant just told me it now looks like 7 people were actually arrested overnight. A couple hours ago, they thought it was only 5. He tells me it is 6 adults, 1 juvenile, and on top of that, a new police investigation just started in the last 2 hours. He tells me that right around 4 o'clock, someone threw a Molotov cocktail. Now, for those of you not familiar with that, that is a glass bottle usually that is burning into a towing company in St. Louis County. It's a towing company that contracts with the city of Ferguson. You guys, a pretty spectacular sunrise, and check it out. Yeah, that is definitely happening. A gorgeous shot behind us here at the Arch downtown. Over here in this parking lot is where all the evidence markers were when we first got here, more than a dozen. Those typically point out shell casings. Well, from there, the car traveled over here into the Cousins Sports Bar and Grill, right into the side of that building.
Ferguson with a story you will see only on News 4. Laura, you're the first person to get these updated eye-opening numbers.
I am Claire, and when I was out here covering the 10 days of unrest, I had several police officers and also people who live and work in Ferguson coming up to me and asking, hey, any idea how much all of this is going to cost us? Well, this morning we do have an idea, and I can tell you it is a lot. Now, here's the breakdown of the cost analysis. County COO Gary Earls calculated it just yesterday morning. Keep in mind, as I run through these numbers, this is only for St. Louis County. So far, the county plans to pay $2.6 million for police overtime. $1 million will go to those who live here in Ferguson. $170,000 is for damage to cop cars caused by rioters. Earls expects that number to go way up. And $146,000 will pay for food and supplies for first responders. This is all emergency money that comes from the general fund. We ask Earls what we'll have to give to pay for these unexpected costs.
We don't expect to reduce our services, but that in fact expenses like this do have to come from somewhere, and so we'll have to do something in order to balance our books and keep services in general within our budgets.
Sounds like they are taking a wait-and-see approach on this. Earls also says he would like the state to pick up the entire $4.2 million tab. After he told me that, I contacted Governor Jay Nixon's office to find out what the likelihood of that will be. Well, it does not seem very likely. In fact, state officials told me that really state and the feds only step in when there's some type of natural disaster, think a tornado or a major flood. And while many people would say what happened here was a major disaster, instead the feds are classifying that as civil unrest. When we do get more price tags from the city of Ferguson, also the city of St. Louis and the state of Missouri, we'll pass it along to all of you. For now, we're live in Ferguson. Hettiger, News 4.